Yo, what's going on? It's your boy, Benjamin.
Danny Anthem, aka The Juice.
Something about the culture coming back at you. It's been a little while, but man, we're here again. And if you can see, we got a couple differences. Mainly that.
Welcome to was one of my quarantine projects. Welcome, y'all. Y'all seeing the workout room, and it's holding the bar. I'm a very good host.
Yeah.
I don't drink that much though.
And I definitely don't. And Freedom ain't with us. Shout out to the dog Freedom. He taking some doing his daddy thing.
Yeah.
But the show must go on. Now we're taking some time off, and me personally, we did a few shows during the quarantine.
Right.
And then our hell broke loose. And I've been wanting to come back and record, but you see, like we were already rearranging the show. Fred was dropping out to do his family thing, you know what I mean, new baby. And we were readjusting.
Yeah.
Readjusting how we were going to come out with the show. And this isn't the final form, but we felt like we have to come out and say something now.
Right now, yeah.
Since we do want to continue to do this, I feel like we got a couple fans. Shout out to my homie, Clemente, Chris freaking Davies.
Absolutely.
We got a couple homies out there.
Yeah, we probably need to do a Zoom show with him, man.
Yeah. You gonna act the fool. That one, I told you I was gonna watch my mouth from now on. He come on the show. I can't tell you, I can't commit. I can't
just can't go too dark. Jokes can't go too dark.
I can't be responsible for what that man is saying. But oh yeah, we should definitely set that up. I guess now is the perfect time. But with everything going on, we're rearranging the show.
Right.
I kind of got upset, honestly. I got a little bit too angry to really want to do this.
For a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, like at first it was like, I don't even know. I think Breonna Taylor, I was about fed up. I couldn't really, you know what I mean? Anything I would have came on and said wouldn't have been
right.
nice. And then what happened with George Floyd, it definitely wasn't nothing. And then with all the protests.
And then, you got to think, Ahmaud Arbery, and then the young man who just got shot in the city, man.
Yeah, here. Like
I was just reading the story again today.
I don't even know how to pronounce Mr. Reed. I don't know how to pronounce his first name.
Yeah.
But even with everything coming out now with his case, that the narrative from the police side was false.
Right.
That there was no gun, and the witnesses are coming out saying that they never saw a gun.
No gun. It
was strictly execution style. Man, and it's right now, it's a lot of straws that broke the camel's back. And it, honestly, bro, it hurts. No ifs, ands, or buts, man. It's just pain. And it's just pain and confusion. And me personally, like I said, I was angry because, one, we watched somebody get murdered in cold blood, but then have people justify it somewhat.
That's it. That's the thing. It was to have people defend. Like, at this point, I've seen people who have defended the police at every other right start to make a change and be like, hey, yo, that was disgusting. I don't. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? That's okay. That's good. You're open to that conversation at that point. But to have people see that and still defend it, and then to watch people make it a meme and a joke after that. Like,
yeah, I got angry, and that's nothing on everybody. And I wanna believe most of the people who are listening to us, that wasn't you.
Most people, know what I mean? Yeah, most people.
So don't like, and this is just like a general thing we saw out there in the world that just generally pissed me off. And I'll be honest, I'm not a person who can't say that I get so racially triggered that white people got to stay away from me at some point in times. If that makes sense.
No.
Like the first time I watched Amistad, like dude made a joke, I couldn't take it. I'm not all the way like, and I'm good, you know me.
Right.
Like I can,
and
you can
nicer
joke
than
all
I
day.
am.
Like yeah, you can joke all day, but I get to certain points where it's too serious still.
Right.
It's just too real because I've been in real life situations of it. You know what I mean? And I don't want that for my children. So I can joke, but then eventually I feel it. And with this one, I felt it. You know what I'm saying?
I can't.
And so that's why.
I can't even joke. I can't joke about that, man. That's
like no, not that.
No, I know,
not
but
that.
like,
No, not that. I'm talking about racial jokes in general. Like there's like you know me, like you can't have comedy without tragedy. That's the thin line. I can joke about a bunch of things, but and there's just certain aspects you just don't joke like that.
Right.
However, like it's a few things I want to address that I'm seeing that's just confusion to me that I'm seeing. Like it's with Black Lives Matter being still saying that all lives matter still coming out somehow. And with that, I don't know what else to say, honestly. It's not that all lives don't matter. And I've never been one really big about saying Black Lives Matter. It's not really...
Here's the thing. It got kind of hijacked, and when it was grassroots started by the three ladies...
Yeah, the concept of it is...
And so then it grew and became something that... But...
And everybody ran with it whichever way they wanted to for a little while. But I think by now the general sentiment has grouped back around what it actually is.
Right.
Like the general statement of, listen, we don't feel like we're being treated as equal. We believe that's it. Like all lives matter, but we don't feel like we're there yet. We don't feel like ours
agree.
do.
All lives do matter. That's why we're shouting Black Lives Do Matter, because y'all don't agree.
That's what it is. Like we feel like that's what I'm saying. Is we feel like you don't agree.
It's like one of the best analogies I saw on Facebook was like, okay, screaming all lives matter is like you see your neighbor's house is on fire, and there you're calling the police department, and so you see the police department there, and you say, hey, my house needs water too. Yeah. Your house isn't on fire.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Your house isn't on fire. That's the thing. And everybody likes to bring up all types of statistics about what about black on black crime. Yeah, first off, shut up about Chicago. Chicago was its own thing. And when everybody brings up black on black crime, they bring up Chicago. And I get it. There's a whole situation up there, and there are people working on that. But this is a completely black on black crime, and white on white crime, and Asian on Asian crime. Whatever it is, people kill who they around.
Yeah.
That's the thing. People tend to kill who they around.
And you shouldn't. And then in what form and manner do you think it's right to hold an entire people to the worst of their society?
Right.
Like you're holding an entire group of people accountable for the criminals. Like when the protests first started, people were peacefully protesting and were attacked. The police instigated violence. Riots happened.
They've even seen, we've all seen plenty of the tapes where a lot of this actual rioting is not being started by the protesters.
Not at all.
You know what I mean?
Not at all.
There's people, the police, the Minneapolis police have even said that a lot of people have descended into the town.
And that's come into play, and a lot of people are starting to blame the Antifa group, however you say it.
Antifa, I don't know.
And so but with that, you're still saying, okay, I see there's a problem here. There was justice that needs to be done. But now, since this happening, no. I can't agree with the riot. I can't agree with what the criminals are taking advantage of this time doing. And so, the injustice I see needs to be left aside. Like now all of a sudden, me as a non-criminal, not looting and rioting, who just wants to peacefully protest, and you understand my injustice in society. You understand what's wrong. You see it, but
because somebody else
did something, my cause is now invalid.
It's now lost. Yeah.
And what society? In what world does that make sense? But that, like, it doesn't make, like, you're not held with all the serial killers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you want to look at crime, like, no crime statistic for white people is held against them. Like, if you just look at, you point at all the statistics, like, okay, let's look at all the crime. Like, look at all the criminal records.
Right.
They're like, I don't have a criminal record. So anything I say is invalid because there are other black criminals. In what world is that right? I'm just collateral damage. But you understand and you see where at any point in time that a police officer can take it too far and harm me.
Right.
Or that he can pull up on my child and harm him at any time. You understand that exists. But we're collateral in this world. That's what hurts. And people are justifying it and questioning why they're losing friends. Like, imagine in the world, like, bro, imagine my family was killed. Like, you get a call,
mm-hmm.
and you get a call from your cousin and say, oh, man, one of your cousins got killed by somebody in my family, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they got away with it. They self-defense, whatever, walk. And then you get another call a couple of weeks later. Somebody else, another member of your family get killed. They get away with it. And you start looking that you see, and like, oh, you start learning all this history, start seeing all these incidents of my family harming your family. And you start seeing all that, and it keeps on happening. You keep on getting phone calls about different members in your family dying from members of my family.
And it being excused.
And it's being excused. Or even if they get caught, it's not the same. You know what I mean? One person get in trouble. You know what I mean? Now, a brother dies. They right at home, and you see, like, and then even if it's me, and you know me, and you know me exactly beforehand, but you know my family, and I'm telling you to be cool.
Right.
Calm down. Don't worry about that. You know me. My family is out. My family is my family. I'm not saying anything against my family. Do what they're doing to your family, and I know that any point in time that they can just run up on y'all.
Right.
But you know me, so I'm cool. So what would I say to you? Like how if you're telling the story to anybody else, how long would you listen to them telling you that I'm okay and ignoring all the rest of my family members who's killing your family at will? It doesn't make sense.
I don't think the people who are losing friends are that surprised. They want to act surprised. And they may act surprised, but I don't think the people who are actually losing friends are that surprised that they're losing friends. They've drawn their line in the sand. This is where I stand on this. This is what I believe. And at that point, you got to look at those people like they saw you as one of the quote unquote good ones.
Yeah.
And so you were okay because in the previous conversations, it was never about this. It was just, okay, you know, and that's a lot of like people who are like associates or acquaintances.
And that's what, like, bro, that's what hurt me with the church people that we know.
I mean, bro, I saw this coming. I saw this divine coming a long time ago, bro.
Like, bro, because I'm thinking about how many times have we joked about, like, just even being the fact that how Jesus is portrayed as white.
Yeah.
Like, we understand that color. Like, we erasing color, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
And you see this is an issue, but, like, now, none of that, like, I don't feel like you care about that at all. Like, how are you still proclaiming Jesus and caring more about appliances and applying innocent people to criminals? Saying, like, no, like, you literally calling people collateral.
You expect more people. That's the thing. I saw that.
That's what I'm saying, silly.
And that's across the board, bro.
That's silly. I mean, that's what I feel.
I don't think people realize. And this is people who, like, I don't think just being around people of a different ethnic group or religion or race or anything necessarily opens your mind until you open your mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you could be around people all day and
Still not understand
still
where
not
they coming
understand
from.
anything. So I think, like I was saying, you're not just, it just comes from listening, man. You I hear certain things, I guess, and I'm like, okay, I already know how you feel about this, or I can at least make an educated guess on. So I'm not going to speak to you about this right now, or you know what I mean, because this is a public forum, and whatever. But now that people, you know, especially when you're on your keyboard during quarantine, people are itching. People are waiting for. They're not having that face-to-face interaction with other people that they would normally have to get these thoughts out. And so I was waiting on it, bro.
Man,
nothing I've seen
still,
has surprised me. Let me put it like that.
People still getting caught up on white privilege. Like just like I wish they wouldn't have created that term. Because when it was just a black disadvantage, it was funny. Like, bro, think about how much of movies, how many old comedians, their staples are telling jokes about how black people are treated differently in this society. People have joked about it continually. Everybody knows it exists.
It was funny
and
until
the moment you change
something to do.
That's what I'm saying.
There was
the moment
a change or cause somebody to have to look at themselves.
The moment the perspective changed, the moment it became white privilege, not black disadvantage, there's a problem. Oh, I have privilege. Like, no, it's not that you're given more. It's that there's a difference here. When it was like you saw this space here, it's just another name for that gap.
But the simplest explanation of white privilege, and this is it's much more complex than this. But my simplest explanation of white privilege to people who don't understand it is this. Okay. Let's just look at employment. For 400 years in this country, black people could not own. It was a very, very, owning anything for black people was a very precarious position. Let's put it like that, okay? And so then we have we had the Emancipation Proclamation, whatever. We get to Juneteenth, everybody's finally free. All right, so there we go. Now we have maybe a few years where black people were able to buy land and flourish, and then came Jim Crow. And Jim Crow South, redlining in the North, whatever you want to call it, all that stuff limited black people. All right, so now we're just getting to the point of actual realizing some sort of economic freedom because of government sanctions, which is still kind of a facade, but I won't go there. So then at that point, now,
where women benefit more.
We'll talk about civil rights movement in a minute. But now we're getting to the point where we can begin to flourish and own businesses, open businesses. We can get to the 70s, 80s. Okay, so there we go. 70s. That is because let's not forget about Tulsa, Oklahoma, where they did have a flourishing black business and they burnt it to the ground. Okay, so let's not forget about that.
So you even looking at it more.
So no. This is just a simple explanation.
Man.
So we get to that. So we get to the 70s where people do start to build stuff. Black people start to mobilize and get their stuff together just a little bit. So that's 50 years of building against 500 years of building. And looking at basic psychology, people tend to hire people who look like them. And I'm not even saying that racist. That's just basic psychology. That's just you tend to hire who you grew up with.
Like, bro, even what you're saying, like you're
and so
saying
that at that point,
you can't convince people that.
At that point, exactly. That's what I'm getting to. At that point, we just looking at just employment, a very simple explanation of white privilege is that just white people just have had I'm breaking it down and being as nice as I can with it, have had a jump start for at least 450 years of a jump start.
It don't matter no more.
And that in itself can't convince people that it exists. So if you can't convince somebody at that, it's just an employment level. There's no that's how I see if it's even worth having a conversation further. That's my introduction right there. Because if Eugene, okay, I know where you stand. Cool. And not saying I'm gonna throw you to the side or whatever.
Man.
But I know where we stand on that, and we will never be true friends. And I'm okay with that. There's people in here. That's your American right to believe whatever you want to believe. I'm not gonna admonish anybody for feeling how they want to feel. As long as you stay away from me and mine, if that's what you feel.
Man, I can dig it. Like you more militant about it than I am.
Yeah, man. You come at me and mine, it's a different story, man.
Like it's just so much confusion about, like, people use words and get caught up in semantics, and they throw in stupid stuff, like they want to talk about police reform and they're saying they're dismantling the police force.
Yeah, that's,
like, why would you say that? Like, in a world where people just read the article title, why would you say, oh, we're dismantling the police force?
I mean, journalism has become extremist to one side and
Like,
the other.
we're abolish the police force. Like, why can't you use the word reform? Like, it exists. Like, we want to make change. Like, it's not like, hey, we don't need the police force. Nobody of sound mind is anti-cop. Like, they don't want cops. We just want police to be held responsible for when they do criminal behavior. Just like you want people, like you saying, the whole people can't have freedom and peacefully protest because people were criminals or taking advantage, and we're saying police should be held responsible to the same standard.
Man,
that's it.
Here's the thing with that though, like, and the thing that just drives me crazy is that we hold citizens more accountable than we hold our police force.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense.
Oh, no, but here, let me finish though. And the thing is, a lot of people don't know. A lot of these police unions have made it so hard with their rhetoric.
They can't get rid of cops.
It's hard to get rid of them. It's even harder to put them in jail.
Like, yeah.
So if that's the case,
but
we as people need to start looking at that.
My whole thing is right here, right now. I will say we need to build a separate prison system for police officers. Like, police officers do not need to go to jail with regular people. They need to go to jail and spend time, but they do not. Like, putting them in jail, that's a murder case.
But here's the thing.
But then, like,
here's the thing though. If a couple police officers start going to jail,
I'm talking about, okay.
And I'm not an advocate for killing anybody, but let them see somebody go to jail and get really messed up. That might make you think twice before you act out what you're feeling that day. Oh, so yeah, not like I was saying, not to advocate for anybody, violence against anybody of any sort. But if you, as a police officer, know you have a greater chance of serving jail time if you just act out on some foolishness, I think that would cause some people to think twice. But at the same time, like, maybe not.
Yeah, I don't like that's my thing. The way I see it is, I honestly don't agree with a few different types of criminals going into prison because of the violence that will ensue to them. Even though I feel like they deserve it, me and a higher mind and better nature says no, because they commit these crimes anyway. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like like pedophiles and shit like that.
I let them go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's how I feel. You can castrate them and burn them like Joan of Arc, if all I care for one. But
let them go.
In the sense of how prison reform in a whole for people, I gotta let them have true reform too. You know what I mean?
I understand. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things where I can't, because there's certain murder situations where I'm going to have to like, you know what I mean? Like, the chick got the murder charge on self-defense. She killed the dude who was trial trafficking her, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how am I going to try to subject her to the same punishment if we're going to give murderers a general punishment? You know what I'm saying? Granted, pedophile ain't the same thing. That's kind of cut and dry. But, you know, people get upset about their daughter dating a 19-year-old and their kid 17, they went to high school together. You know what I mean? There's people on the list like that. So, in the general sense of saving a few, I gotta, cause you know what I mean. A cop that killed somebody, like cop that killed Tamir Rice. I don't know why he ain't in jail. I'm still shitty about that. Then let me catch him in the streets, straight up. Like that was a little boy. That one I still can't explain. Like that's the one. That's the one that I always think of where I couldn't, like this one with this George Floyd situation. That's the one I thought of where I can no longer come out and condemn Ryan and Louis. Like I can't say anything. I'm not going to tell anybody. I can't tell you not to be that upset anymore. Like I cannot. I do not condone it. I agree.
Right.
I agree that it doesn't solve anything, but in a general sense of being American, I've watched history and society say when you want something, you that fed up, you blow shit up.
Bro, I'm tired of hearing about the Ryan and Louis because just looking at sports teams, winning or losing.
Come on, man.
How many
can act the fool out there? Like, bro, think about like
burning cars and
talk
stuff.
Talk to people in general. Like I was saying,
like,
talk to people in general. But if we feel threatened, the case I was given, if you feel threatened, how long will people take before they up in arms acting the fool? If you know where I was at and I was the one coming after your family personally, and it was me personally killing you, and you knew where I was, how long would you sit there waiting for me to come get you? Listening to people tell you to be cool before I showed up on your doorstep.
Right.
No, I know where that fool at right now. And essentially, it's a chaos going on. People are out in this big crowd. People are taking advantage of it. Criminals are taking advantage
Absolutely.
of it. Just like 9/11, how many pop-up shops shot up selling flags? You think everybody was that fucking paper?
Right.
I was watching my mouth. Watching my mouth. You think everybody's that patriotic?
No, absolutely.
You think everybody cared that much? People was in there to make money. You don't think people out here busting up their own, having people run up, bust up their own shops for insurance? Like, come on, man. People are criminals. People are people. Just like there's people on the police force that's out there enticing violence during these peaceful protests. It's people in the protesters enticing violence against the police.
Yeah.
Like, criminals are criminals, and you can't help that, but you see the injustice, and you cannot subjugate people to brutality that you see because there are criminals who exist that look like them. That doesn't make sense. How is that fair? How am I supposed to be expected to be seen to be an American citizen and that's what you're telling me? How am I supposed to consider you a friend and that's what you're telling me? That I'd rather see you harmed and you have the potential to be hurt. Your children have the potential to be hurt. But y'all homies in them be acting the fool out there. Y'all want Nikes, not freedom. No. And
Bro,
so
a lot of the pictures I've seen have been non-black people.
Yeah, it's not black. It's mostly I see mostly black, and that's the thing. And then there are black people looting.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, and then the way social media is set up, just like regular societies where they put groups in certain groups.
Yeah.
So you're going to see the things that you like.
The algorithm's going to set it up for you to see.
You're going to see the things that you like, and when they want you to be upset, they're going to see the things that you're upset, depending on the way who you talk to, all of that. And so you're only seeing your own picture, and you're not even listening to other people. Everybody is outside all around the world saying the same exact thing, and you are arguing against it. Like, and you admit that there's brutality out there. You see the brutality. Everybody's outside wanting change. But you saw a window get broken, so no. It doesn't make sense.
Man, well, here's the thing.
And that's like, that's why I was so mad. Like, how can
that's top down. When your president says looting, get the looting, I'll start the shooting.
Come on, man.
And starts calling everybody thugs. Like, that's top down. So everybody who's down with that. And not everybody, let me not say that.
Right, come on, bro.
But everybody who's cool with the way he talks and the way he speaks and how he operates is not gonna go against that, man. So that's a top down thing.
We helped Fred move. And we helped him move. And that day I was driving home. It was the day after the big riots, remember? The main ones where it got the banging all around. Not the one in Minneapolis got the banging right away.
Right.
But it was when it got the banging like in the first 10 major cities here and like the first 10 major, and it was like that big night. Everybody woke up like, oh, the country's on fire. I was driving home. Everybody was cutting grass that day. I guess it was National Cut Grass Day. Because they cut every last bit of grass in the whole city. I don't even,
Everybody was uncomfortable. They needed something to do.
That's what I'm saying. All like-minded people just they ain't know what to do. But what do people do when they still stuff get jacked up? They get to cleaning up.
It's the weekend.
Just get to cleaning up. Make something look nice. Mm-hmm. That's what happened. And then I was on the highway, man. Dude was driving down the highway with a big old Trump Pence flag. Like a big old flag blaring out the back. And I understand, vote for who you want to vote for, but it's a private vote for a reason. And with the sentiments around the world, you know what I mean? Like, with everything going on, why would you...
Bro, he doesn't care.
Yeah, he don't care. What is that saying? Forget you Negroes.
That's exactly
Trumpets.
What it's saying.
And I don't want to say forget,
maybe not.
I'm trying to
maybe not. You know what I mean? There's a chance. But I remember you telling me the story and you telling me how he had looked at you.
He rolled up right up on me and was mugging me.
And was staring at you. Man. So yeah, that's like what. And you like I told you, you are a much better person than I, sir. Especially during those times.
Like it's just stuff like that. Like everybody doesn't see it. Everybody won't. You know what I mean? Won't agree that that's an issue. I understand. But how, like, my biggest problem with most of the world right now is people with, like, I'm going down my friends' list on their comments, you know what I mean, and looking at their friends and seeing what they saying to them. Like, one of my dudes talked about, remember all that stuff was going around with Wendy's, that one franchise in Wendy's gave the money to Trump, and so they was trying to ban all the Wendy's and stuff.
No, I don't remember.
You ain't see that? It was that one was pretty funny. It was one franchise that donated, and so it became anti-Trump thing where they banning like the Taco Bells and all that.
Okay.
And that's what this dude said. He was like, "All these restaurants, I'm not eating there anymore." Right? Okay. That's your political statement. That's the one you make.
Because they donated to Trump.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, dude, his friend got on and said, I'm eating at every last one of them.
Okay.
Like, this, like, why would you go out of your way on somebody that's supposedly your friend to deliberately say something against?
Well, I told you, people...
Like, that's like, man, why are people jumping on people's pages?
Say stuff on social media that never would have come out pre-quarantine. But because people have been cooped up, they've been supercharged... On whatever that social media is, you got to think. Like, just like that algorithm delivers you what you want. So they've been seeing all this stuff because they've had no time to go anywhere, or they've had no opportunity to go anywhere, and nothing but time in the house. So people now are supercharged on that. No conversations with anybody. So if you got that much built up in you, you looking for somebody to say something like that too. Especially in this climate right now, man. I think people are just looking to say something to be relevant right now because they're not having that human contact.
Yeah, like I'm seeing people not saying, "Oh, I ain't got no white guilt. My family ain't all slaves." Like, what does this have to do with anything going on right now? It's so much. I can get some political stuff because it's an election year.
I don't believe in white guilt.
I don't either because what do you have to feel guilty about?
Yeah.
Like, it's literally a moment like where you need to understand the term "stay in your damn lane."
Yeah.
Like, it's literally, if there's nothing that you've done. You're not racist. Your family isn't racist.
Great.
Go home. Congratulations.
But
like, why are you going out your way to say something against people now?
Because people want to have something to say.
And
they expose themselves in their desire to look racist in their desire to try and look as unracist as possible. They expose their prejudice. Okay. That's cool. Like, I'm not easily triggered. Like I said, nothing I've seen has surprised me.
I'm easily hurt. That's my problem.
I'm angered.
Yeah,
like, but as far as like to the point where I'm gonna be actually, I guess, that triggered word, no.
I ain't gonna say nothing there. Like I've been responding to say something to a couple people trying to, if I can get my explanation out in a proper way, I feel like I say something. But most people,
everybody's cool on Facebook. Everybody's tough on Facebook.
yeah, that's a private thing. You know, everybody, you in your own little world.
Right.
Ain't nobody get their hands on you.
Everybody's tough on
secure
Facebook.
in your own home.
Right. And like so, and even people like people post stuff and they think it's funny, and then they're, oh, I'm not. Like, I've seen a lot of that lately. I'm not a racist. Or even that one lady who called the police on the man in the park. You see that?
With the dog.
Yeah. Yeah, like she called. He said the man was assaulting her.
Like I'm gonna call the police and tell them you heard a black man is hurting me.
Was assaulting her, and then comes back and I'm not.
I don't know what that dude was doing though. He was kind of he was trying to get the leash on the
bird
dog.
watching.
Yeah, he was trying to put a leash on the dog, so he had some dog treats in his pocket.
He said, "Yeah,
hey,
that's
man,
weird."
He was kind of weird, but
first
still.
off, if you just a dude walking around while you got dog treats in your pocket.
Like, yeah, man, he was a little weird. But she shouldn't have been saying she gonna call the police. You know what I mean? That's the thing where you're aware.
You're aware of what's happening.
Of what's going on. And you're gonna take advantage of it as much as you can. You're gonna try to put somebody in harm's way.
To get your way.
Why you choking?
So you can have a dog off a leash.
Cause man, she was choking the hell out that dog. That dog needed to be on the leash or something.
And then you come back and say, I'm not a racist, and you try and make one of those.
She was frantic.
One of those statements.
Bruh, it's so many I'm not racist things of people it's mayors dropping out. Police, everybody left that unit when the dude, they pushed the old dude over.
Yeah.
They all quit.
They quit?
Yeah. Those two guys got suspended without paying everybody on the unit. All 57 of them quit.
Okay.
But
here's the thing.
The mayor walked into Minneapolis. It was Louisville. The mayor walked in for a speech. Officers, as he walked out the door, just resigning right there on the spot. And he giving a speech talking about, I understand, because they didn't feel he was going to be supportive enough to them. That's what I don't understand. Like, you're literally telling people to deal with the consequences of their culture. That's it. Like, you're telling black people you have to deal with the consequences of your culture. There are criminals. There's black on black crime. There's all these reasons why. Like, listen though, bro. There's all these reasons why we have to deal with these situations, right? We have enough benefits. So you have affirmative action, all this. You have this civil rights stuff over here that you have on paperwork to where you can make it. And these conditions that you live with are a consequence of the worst in your society, the worst of your society, right? That's what they're saying. But when we say police are doing this, yep, but this is why, because of this. We can't hold you accountable for every last one of them. We're wrong in that sentiment. That doesn't make sense.
I don't think they're even saying that.
They
just don't care. Like, they don't care. That's as simple as that. And for some people, it's as simple as I don't care about black people. And for some people, it's just as simple as this doesn't affect me. I don't care.
There's a lot of that too.
Yeah, and
there's a lot of that.
Martin Luther King just said this, man.
The
most dangerous white person is not the white person that hates you. It's the white moderate, because he's okay with the status quo. It's okay seeing you get beat, as long as it doesn't affect them. Bruh, that's it. Apathy. I don't care. And that's kind of what I see, what I feel when I see the I hear you. That's great. And like I said, I don't believe in white guilt. I do believe in white privilege. But I don't want you to feel guilty just for being born white. Like, I get it. Unless you are actually attempting to oppress me, don't feel guilty. But I do pray.
There's nothing to feel guilty about right now. Unless you out here wilding out.
Right. There's nothing but the apathy is just as deadly, if not more deadly.
And that's the thing. Why, like, even with that, stay in your lane.
Oh, yeah, just shut up.
Just like, why can't you just shut up?
Because everybody, like I told you, everybody's been cooped up. Everybody feels like, and then this is just such a dynamic situation
that you got to go out your way
that you have to say something about it. Like, everybody's like, Like I've had some of the most awkward conversations with people.
I get it. White people probably right now got to feel like they got to say they ain't racist.
You know, why?
Like I can understand right now having to come out and say something like, "Oh man, I ain't racist."
Why?
Because I'm like right now, I'm coming out and saying I'm not a criminal, so how come I can't?
Why should you have to say? Here's the thing.
No, they don't have
You
to.
shouldn't have to say that.
No, they don't. I'm just saying I understand why they do.
Here's my problem with your statement, because you saying that because there are people who still don't see you as a human, or give you the full benefit of the doubt that what you're doing is altruistic. These people, anybody having to come out and say I'm not racist is saying it from a self-preservation standpoint. That's not from the same standpoint.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
I can understand
it's a
right
different
now.
Motivation.
With
And
this climate right now, bro. With everything.
I don't think that I'm not racist is foolish. Like if you're not gonna march, or not even march, but if you're not gonna be an advocate, then just be quiet. Shut up. Live your life. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not gonna judge you. Do you? You have that right. Fine. But shut up.
There's still plenty of other articles and plenty of everything still playing on TV.
Shut up. There's stuff for you to talk about. You don't have to convince me of anything. If you're fine with the status quo, be quiet, move along. Whatever. But
that's what I was talking. One of the guys I was talking to today.
Everybody's been home and everybody's got those fingers itching, one way or the other, to put something out there.
I ain't even gonna bring that up. It don't even matter.
But
it's just wild out here, man. It's so much going on, and it's so fast. And right now is the time to really watch.
I just remember what Derek Britt put a quote out, and I'm gonna butcher it, but he was having a conversation with his friend, and his friend said this to him. He said, and I reposted it because it was so good. I usually don't repost.
Yeah, I remember what he said.
But it was, if you in fact, it said basically the gist of it was, if your wife is telling you that something's bothering her, and every time she comes and tell you, you have some sort of stat or statistic to tell her that what's bothering her is not a big deal, how long do you think that woman's gonna be your wife?
That was a good one.
That was it right there.
That's
it right there.
That's it. Why would you consider that a good relationship?
Right. And let me just get this out to my white folks who are advocates, and are saying this is wrong and are starting to see what's happening. Thank you.
Yes.
But in the same breath, I want to also say, please stop telling black people how to raise their children and interact with police. Please.
Yeah, that one's a little
Please
wild.
stop telling black people how to raise their children and how to teach their children to interact. My mother taught me at a very young age how to interact with police. And a lot of these young kids that you see going wild interacting with police have interacted with police before and were well-mannered and were still disrespected. I myself have been pulled out of a car. I myself have been handcuffed for no reason. I myself have sat on the side of the road while my car was searched. Why? For no reason, because I was in the wrong county. All right, so I was respectful. I was quiet, and just whatever, because I knew this wasn't my place. I didn't have any backup out here. I'm on my own. I need to just do it. That being said, at a certain point, you get fed up with being disrespected. All right, so a lot of these people you see who get fed up with police, this is not a one-time incident. It's not like they just got stopped and they or whatever. Like people get fed up eventually after you've been harassed for so long.
I know, man. You got to start looking up the history of the police forces in these areas where these incidents are happening.
Right.
You start seeing that these officers be having 70 some odd complaints and lawsuits against them for years and years and years, for racial discrimination, sexual assault cases, all kind of wild stuff. And I understand people are human, like you said earlier, that there's a lot of stipulations keeping these officers in play. And that stuff needs to change. It's not about getting rid of like it's so many things. Like it just bothers me so much because I live my life in a way to avoid me doing wrong.
Right.
Yeah, like that. Like you were saying. Like I learned how to respect officers and talk with respect to people, and teach my children that. Like remember I told you that's why I got upset with dude. And kind of cussed him out on the internet. And somebody called my daddy and snitched on me.
What?
I told somebody to shut the F up on the internet.
Oh yeah.
Somebody called my daddy on me, man. I'm still.
They call for real?
Yeah, my pop said multiple people called him and told him about this situation.
I didn't know that.
Bro, it was hilarious.
All right, we took the conversation off there.
But
and it wasn't even I felt because it wasn't even from a super anger point.
It was from that saying. It was something about saying about. It was something was said about
start the shoot.
No, not even that part of it.
I know what you're talking about. Though.
I ain't even go into that part. I'm talking about it was said don't want my children to grow with no chip on their shoulder or something and not see color. It was like, oh yeah, I really do, but it's impossible because it's not safe. Like it's just little stuff like that like I just been angry.
Here's the thing,
in situations you can't just say no stuff about that you don't understand.
That's my thing right there. That's when white people trying to tell us how to raise our kids. Because yeah, that's great, and I can tell my kids not to see color, but I also have to teach my child about certain areas and certain people are gonna see your color. So then by default, I have to teach my child to see color.
Like you can't act like I can't teach my child to act the same way.
So yeah, you may be able to say that to your kid, and that's a beautiful thing if you can actually raise a child who just sees everybody as a person. And I would love to be able to have that luxury, but I'm raising black children, so I have to give my children different warnings about different situations that white people may not have to give their child. I have to give my child, different tools. You know what I mean? The way they think in certain situations, self-preservation tools, just so I feel better about when I send my child in the world. Or if I should die, I know that they have this skill set.
Man.
You know what I mean? And so for me to raise my child and say, oh, there's no such thing, I'd be doing my child an injustice, a disservice, and setting them up for failure.
I raise my children to treat everybody fairly.
Yes. Treat everybody well. Treat everybody fairly. Respect everybody.
Be kind and respectful. That's about
it. And if they put their hands on you, then deal with it. That's how I'm raising my kids right now. I got girls, man.
I told you my oldest son already was told that. A girl already told him that she couldn't talk to him because he's black. His friend told her that he thought she was cute, and she just like, oh, I can't date you because you black. My daddy said
my daddy said I can't.
My daddy said I can't date no black guy.
Mm-hmm.
And my son wasn't even in middle school yet.
So that's it. Right there is being passed down right there.
No, I have to teach my son about color.
No, good and well, she's going to have a black boyfriend in high school. Chances are.
At least one on
the phone. At least one.
Nah, I don't know, man. It's just so much more we can say about so many more things.
We'll be back.
Yeah, we're going to have to, because I really wish to enlighten people. Because honestly, like I am hurt. It does hurt because I grew up with so many people and I felt like so many people had a different heart. Different type of heart.
The thing that hurt me is how many people really latched on to that start the shooting. Like across the board, bro. Like latched on to that, and that became almost a catchphrase almost. Like
everything.
Protect your property. Personal property, always protect yourself. I'm cool with that no matter who you are. If somebody is coming at you with intent to do you harm, then yes, protect yourself. But They said we need to start shooting over Target and Walmart and these stores. The only thing I'm really hurt about is that I'm sure there were small businesses that were hurt, that were damaged. You know what I mean?
I'm like, man, I'm sad
So-
about all the rioting and looting, especially since the negative impact it had on the movement in general.
Absolutely.
Like, man,
But
but I can't. Like I said,
I
I'm
don't
not-
think that really came from the protest, at least not initially.
Yeah, no, I didn't. And still, even after that, like, yeah, okay. Like, you have to, at one point, man, people take advantage. Like I talked about 9/11, people take advantage. Essentially, you got all those people in all that group, you throwing money in the air, man.
Yeah.
Somebody break a glass like that, and I ain't even gonna act like I'm big enough to say I'm at the wrong store. I ain't running in that motherfucker. I just watch your mouth. I can't say I wasn't. That's why I don't put myself in situations where I'm gonna fail. Like, I try my best not to. Like, I could not be a cop because I know I'm gonna be a dirty cop. like it's that simple. Like, I know I'll be crooked. Like, oh, you gonna catch me on camera whooping somebody's ass? Yeah, what happened? I know I would. Because I get upset and I get angry in a different way. Like, I know I would.
You'd be whipping ass for justice.
Like, I just know I would. You know what I mean? It's just, and so it's certain jobs. Like, I won't go work at no bank like that. No.
I'll be cool.
Nah, I'm not. There's too much temptation. I don't like sitting around money like that. I just don't. You know what I mean?
I got you.
I don't like
know yourself.
I just know myself.
Yeah,
It's not
know
like,
your
bro, you know, I
temptation.
ain't gonna steal nothing from nobody. I just
Right.
know, like, my mind starts seeing certain things. I watch camera rotations and it's just weird. It's just I start casing joints. My fault.
I was thinking about something. As part of willpower is knowing when to avoid the situation altogether.
Yeah, so like I just don't do that stuff. Like I always feel like silly of me for assuming everybody else will do the same thing or certain people will do the same
I
thing.
always tell you expect too much of people.
Mm-hmm. Cause I'm filthy. I'm a heathen out here in these streets. I be out
Expect too
here.
much of people.
You I'm not that great.
You expect too much of people, man. Take people at face value. That's what it is.
Everybody talking though.
Everybody wants to be heard. I don't know if everybody really talking. Some people just making noise.
It's all good though, man. We just gonna end up still keep on rambling anyway, man. It's just
We'll have a more organized show for y'all.
yeah, you gonna get this little. I don't even know how long this is.
Yeah.
We had the little interruption. My mama called.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but
Shout out, mama, checking in on me on the late night.
we'll get a more organized show for y'all. I got a whole bunch to say too, but
Yeah, I do want to
there's
get.
so much more to say, but I don't really know where to even.
I want to see how some things unfold. Like I'm past my initial anger, and anything
Yeah.
I would have said
Here's the thing.
would
Here's
have
the
been
thing.
productive from there. So I want to really see how these reforms look. I really hope they quit saying abolish the police force and all that ignorance, and change their verbiage on how they want to have reform and actual true change. Like here, he put out a bunch of rules that I thought some of them were pretty good already on new policies. On protocol for police arrests and how they pursue criminals.
Bro, here's the thing though, man. Protocol. Well, they got protocol now that they don't follow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
that's what I want to
protocol
watch. Changing protocol doesn't mean anything
doesn't
until
mean
you
anything
start
until
cracking
there's a
down.
change in the culture, man. There has to be a change.
They
in
got
our
to
police
start
culture.
cracking down
And
when they break
part
it.
of the problem is like, part of the problem is like they say there's good cops, and I'm like, yeah, there are probably good people on the police force, but those same good people watch bad people do things and don't say anything.
And
Back
that's
to the
what
whole moderate thing.
And that's what I'm
But
saying. That's what
on the
needs
flip
to stop.
side, if they do go, the one policeman that came out and said something against the whole
They-
harassing people if they're not wearing a mask and different and things like that, he was swiftly let go because he did not take the post.
I heard that lady who yelled at that cop for pushing over that girl.
Mm-hmm.
I heard she got let go. She got fired for yelling at that cop like that.
And
Pushing
that
out
cop
against it.
has 79 complaints in less than 4 years. I saw that video.
Come on, man.
Now, I don't know. I ain't done my research yet, so I had to get back to y'all on that. But I saw a video that said this man had 79 complaints in less than 4 years.
It's one of those things where like stuff like that has to change. Like if you wanna, like everybody's saying they want to come out, oh we support blue. Okay, support blue, but I support blue too. But I want them to be held accountable. If they beat me, if I show up and I'm reaching for my wallet and they shoot me 4 times, and after they ask me to hand them their wallet, give me your wallet. Pop, pop, pop. That's wrong. Like people are human and they make mistakes here, but you are blatantly looking at criminal activity,
right,
and justifying it. That's what I was saying. I was saying that's what I'm doing with anything that Trump does and says, because his actual base justifies it immediately.
Let me say this. This one is probably my last point. Okay, so like I said, I don't believe in the rioting and the looting, but now that everybody is watching, it's the time to mobilize in whatever form that takes. Like rioting and looting got the nation's attention, but now we got to follow through on basically
and take advantage of that chaos, because everybody's watching now.
I don't know, but the problem is, how do you even begin to mobilize that? I don't know how you begin to organize that. But going to
it's first off, like honestly, and I've said it on here before, I'm not voting for a president. Like it looks like our options are Biden and Trump.
Yeah.
And I'm cool, honestly, but I decided to look in. There's a libertarian lady I decided to look into, just to cast a vote there. But as far as other elections and whatnot, look in who you really want to support. You can, if you want to get that political about it, you can do your own campaigning form or anything, man. And actually go out and really vote and
hold them accountable too.
Hold them accountable.
Like, what are you, like, if you got somebody that you believe in, okay, so what is your plan for as far as city, county stuff and stuff like that, what is your plan for my community? This is where I live. What do you plan to do? Make it personal. Don't just, okay, I like what they talking about. Grill these people. I think, I don't know what, I was Killer Mike, he was talking about that. Like, presidential elections and all that, that's great, but really when it comes down to, like, city and state stuff, that affects you most right there. You know what I mean? So and that's what you have the most control over right there. And so figure out what these people are standing for. Figure out, you know, how they feel about police reform, how they feel about just the justice system in your area in general. Figure out how they feel about, you know, everything.
And I believe that's a good place to start and actually seeing change. And there's definitely things you can ask for. You can write in for laws, write in on laws. Like it's just get informed about changes you can actually make in your community. Even if you don't want to go political, just be out there, volunteer more in your community, put your face out there, be friendly, make your neighborhood friendlier. I don't know, man. It's just a time to. It is a time to incite change, and I'm hoping it's positive. I can see a lot of negative things building from it. I can see a lot of underhanded slights, but we still in America.
Can't focus on that, man.
You know, it's definitely always a thing where you gotta watch for the hook out here, but that's if you win the lottery.
I mean, the underhanded slights are the same as, you know, some racist person call you a nigga in front of police and waiting for you to hit them. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, it's happened to me. But that's what it is. You just trying to bait me into actually being a nigga.
Yeah,
I'm cool. I'm a grown man.
Like it's so many sensible like-minded people of color. I believe that a real good change is gonna come. There's some dissentience. Is that the word? Is that how you say that?
I don't know what word you're trying to say, bro.
Like some separation.
Dissonance.
Dissonance.
I don't know what you're trying. I don't know where you're trying to go with this.
Like there's just some like in the intermix. It's some negativity in the mix with different opinions on exactly the exact issues in general. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
there's pretty cut and dry problems. I believe.
Start there.
Like there's pretty cut and dry problems that we can fix. We can start holding police officers accountable when they do wrong. We can start looking at fair economic places. You know what I mean? There's little things we can do where we can, like, okay, there's an issue here, and where everybody sees it, and we've been saying, yeah, this is okay, or justify it for whatever reason, and we can fix it. Like, most of them have pretty cut and dry fixes. Most of them are just, hey, just don't do it anymore.
And yo, have those conversations, y'all. Like, don't shy away from conversation right now. Like, if you are a white person and you have questions, wait for an opportunity. Like, don't.
If you got a question, you can message me.
You can message me.
Because y'all don't know what to say out here. People be confused. Like,
like, if you have questions, like, I know, and I feel like you shouldn't have to put this out there. Like, by now, I feel like people should understand, but a lot of people don't understand. And that's just the fact of the matter. Some people are trying to understand, though.
Yeah.
And I don't want to alienate them and be like, oh, you don't get it by... You know what I'm saying?
I guess what I'm saying, like, nah, if you don't understand anything, you can ask me anything.
Yeah, I'm always willing.
You can word it any way you want to word it. Like I said, I get upset in certain things, but if it's
I might tell you,
general,
don't hit me like that again.
Like, general questions, you can say however you want to say, and you ain't gonna just be like, all right, listen here, nigga. Nah, I don't mean like that, but like however you want to ask a question, like however uncomfortable you think you gonna make me or you feel, I'm not gonna feel that if you're generally asking a question. I don't believe ignorance is a negative term.
No, I was actually said that. We had conversations.
We talked about that before.
And
I'm ignorant on so many things, and I know for a fact there's other perspectives, even against what I want, and that'll say, because I still hear things of like, yeah, I fully understand what you're saying. Like, I see your point of view, but I'm looking at a different, bigger picture. You know what I mean? So I can see other different perspectives, and I know just in general that I have to be missing a few. So I like when people word things the way they want to word it. I feel like I learn more myself. But and so like with that, like,
don't hit me with no foolishness. I'm gonna tell you right now, don't hit me with no foolishness. We've already discussed. I've said it like 3 times. This man is much nicer than I am.
But I mean, like with that, like I've told people before, like anything you want to ask.
Yeah, if you got a question though, yeah.
Anything, man. You want to figure out how you want to say something to somebody else, I will help you out with it, because it is confusing. It is in narrow waters. You can offend people. Like, just like I ask somebody that I know is homosexual about something. Like, hey man, what about this? Or I'll see if they've talked about it before. I'll be lurking. I like on this page. It is, but I don't like to offend people, man. Like, and I'm not big on political correctness. I'm not huge, but some shit is just disrespectful. You know what I mean? And I don't like doing it.
No, definitely you always want to be respectful. I don't know, man. I don't think I have anything else to say other than...
I don't either. We just end up rambling, man.
Yeah.
Because it's so much we can say, and so much stuff is intermixed and intertwined that you'll end up saying the same thing again anyway. You end up being political. You end up being anti.
It's not even a political issue anymore.
It's not a political issue.
It's a moral issue. And if like, here's the thing, I think you put something on up that, like, when something comes up that challenges what you think, it activates the same center in your brain as pain.
Yeah.
It's been scientifically proven, and so I think that's what a lot of people are dealing with right now, is that they sense actual pain, even though there's no pain, because they're being forced to look at some things differently. And
things that they've seen, and it's built up, and you've been complacent in it. That's what I'm saying. Like we talked about it. Rosa
Hold on, man. You about to ramble again, man. No.
Okay.
No, bring it in.
Okay. Look, I'm gonna just
but
go ahead and go
let's stick right here. Right here.
We're gonna be right here.
So I can feel it coming. But here's the thing, though. You got to deal with that pain. And then, don't get me wrong, like, even I, as a black man, have been presented with some things that have made me challenge what I believe. And challenge what just in watching some of these situations unfold and some of the aftermath. And like that, I get it. It causes pain. It causes, like, I felt like, man. And then, you know, having conversations with my wife, and she kind of rebuked me a little bit, and I felt it again. I was like, man, you know what I mean? And that anger and dealing with that. And so I understand that pain that it causes, but I also understand that just because that pain is there doesn't mean you can avoid it and move along as if you didn't sense that there was something that, if you got a needle in your arm, you're not going to keep on walking around with that needle in your arm. So you're going to have to figure out a way to take it out. You get a splinter, you got to take it out. So at this point, if you are feeling that mental anguish of dealing with information that contradicts what you believe to be true your whole life, just deal with it. Don't run from it. And you will thank yourself later, man. I think we as people avoid introspection because it is a painful process. It does cause us to look at ourselves and see our faults and see our shortcomings and admit them to ourselves, which is damaging to our ego. But if you can get over your ego for a little bit and just realize something, and that's not even talking about this situation, just get over your ego and truly get outside yourself, you can find you always can become a better person. But that will take a lot of growth. Growth isn't easy, but growth is necessary.
Yeah, that's what's up, bro. That's good. We're going to leave that as your positive thought.
Yeah, we end with that. That's good.
We ain't going to have it's a lot of village idiots out there. We all watching them. On all sides.
On all sides, yeah.
So we'll leave that at there. Again, this is something about the culture. We'll have some more updates. We changing around. We still revamping.
Yeah, this will look different next time y'all see us.
Rethinking how we gonna come about and
I got an idea.
Keep bringing y'all this heat.
It's probably gonna be pretty dope. So y'all see it coming in a little bit.
You can hit us up on Facebook. It's something about the culture. Instagram at SATC Pod. I think we got a Twitter. I don't know yet.
We'll get all that memorized. Freedom was doing all that. We'll get that right next week.
I don't even
know next episode.
But we're going to get that banging too. All right, we done said that 100 times too. Again, this is something about the culture. It's been jamming.
Danny Anthem, aka The Juice.
Peace.
Peace.
All right, I guess I got to turn
the camera out.
Yeah,